Welcome to episode 4 of Parent University. Today we will cover using Canvas Observer and helping your student be successful. Be sure to check out the previous episodes of Parent University. They can be found on our Division YouTube page, which has been linked in your email, or found on the Help Desk, which has also been linked in your email. So we're going to take another look into Canvas. Today we're going to cover how to use Canvas on both the parent app and on the computer. We also want to help you with supporting your student with work completion and work submission by looking deeper into the student dashboard and the student app as well. We're then going to finish out the episode with some additional tips for success. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into what we can find on the desktop version of the Canvas Observer account. We're going to talk about changing notifications, what it looks like on the calendar, and how to access courses. As a reminder, when you are going to access Canvas on a computer, you will need to go to the website bedfordco.instructure.com. You do not need the login/Canvas. That will populate once you go to bedfordco.instructure.com. If you have already created an Observer account, then simply enter your email and password and be able to log right in. If you have not created an Observer account, you will need to create an account here. If you need your student pairing code, it can be found under the Settings tab of your student's account. To access that, let me show you really quick how to get to it. This is our Canvas test account, and this is the same as any student account. Once logged in, I simply click on Account, and I go to Settings, and on the right-hand side at the bottom there is Pair with Observer. When I click on this, it will pull up a code that I can take and copy and paste it into my student pairing code box. Now that I have logged into the Canvas dashboard as an observer, I can see all of the courses that the Canvas test student has been enrolled in. If I have more than one student, I can pair with an additional student by going to Account and then going down to Observing. I can then add an additional pairing code and pair with another student to be able to see multiple students that I can observe. I can also go up to my notifications. This is a key spot to go to make changes so that you can control how many emails you get on a regular basis. The key is up here. So the check mark is I want to get notified right away when it happens. A daily summary is the daily email that you get. The weekly summary happens on Friday afternoon, I believe, and the do not send me anything, you don't get notified of it happening. So, for example, I might not need to see when a grading policy is changed in here because it matches with the Power Teacher gradebook, and that was where the authority is for grades for students. So I could come in here and I could exit and saying I don't want to get an email about it. I could come down here and say, I do want to know about grading, but I might not need to see it on a daily basis or on a notified right away, so I could go to a daily summary or a weekly summary. I can also get notified when I've been invited to something, so I would probably say I want that to be a weekly thing as well, or I can say I want it to be daily. I do not need to be notified right away. The different things that are in here, you can choose what you want to be notified on, how you want it to be notified, everything like that. When I go back over to my dashboard, one of the key things I want to be able to know is how I can help my students be successful in their class. So if I come into this class here, Canvas Training Monday, I can see that on this left-hand side, there's a Grades tab. So I can click on Grades and I can come in here and see what my student has done or has not done. I can see what score they have earned. I can see there's usually a status here that says if something is late or missing. If it's on time or there's no due date, it's not going to say anything here. None of these assignments have due dates on them, so it's not going to be marked as late, and I'm not going to see a due date in this column. But I can see here, please keep in mind, that Parent Portal is still going to be your authority on accurate grade information. The grade in Canvas might not match Parent Portal, but Parent Portal is the most accurate information. If I come over here to my next class, and I'm going to see if I have a grades tab here, and I do, I can click on grades, and here I can see that there's due dates. This due date, it was turned in and it was obviously submitted before September 25th because there's nothing in the status range. I can come look at the science lab here, and it says it's due on October 16th, so it is not due yet. It is not late yet. So I can come in here, and if I click on the first 5 presidents assignment, I can see how I did the first time, or my student did the first time. And I can see that it allows 3 attempts for the student to be able to take it. So I can come in here and I can see what the answers were that my students answered, and I can see what they got right or wrong. And what I can then do is help my student prepare with how they can answer the questions. Most teachers will not show you what the correct answer is. This one does not show what the correct answer is. It just shows you, yep, you got those answers right. No, you got that question wrong. And it actually does tell me what the correct answer is. Not all quizzes will do that. It is a teacher preference. I can then click return, and it can be I can return to the home page. My student would be able to go into that assignment on their gradebook and be able to take another attempt. Okay. I can then go to grades, and I can show, okay, so this science lab isn't due yet, so I can come here and it says no submission. So what this means is my student has not submitted anything, so I can't see it. But I can come over here to modules, and I can scroll down and find the science lab. And if I click on the assignment within the module, I can now see what I need to see. I can tell that these are the different submission types that my student can do to connect to the assignment. Now, there's no submit assignment button up here, but for the students, there is. That's how a student can submit their assignment. As an observer, I will not see that button. Now, the only other thing to show you right now on here is if I come over here to the sandbox, I don't see a grades tab or a navigation link. So what I can do is I can come up here to the web address bar, click twice so that it is no longer highlighted. If it's highlighted, then if I start typing, I'm going to erase the web address. I want the cursor to be at the end, and I'm going to say /grades. And when I do that, it will take me to the grades tab for my student. I can see if something is late, something is missing, and what grades my student has earned. So as you can see with this assignment right here, it says missing. So I would be able to have that conversation with my student of, why is this missing? Let's pull it up, let's do it. Keep in mind, some of the assignments that are in here are external assignments, and so they might show up missing even if the student did them. So if they're doing something outside of Canvas, like an ed puzzle or a Nearpod or a Flipgrid, it might show up as missing if the teacher hasn't put a grade in Canvas for it. That doesn't mean they didn't put a grade in Parent Portal, but they might not have put it in Canvas. And that is a brief overview of what the dashboard can look like for helping with finding out what assignments are missing, are late, or have due dates for your students on the computer dashboard. The last thing to show you on this dashboard is the calendar. If I go to calendar, it will show me all of the classes that my student is signed up for. Now, as an observer, I'm going to see the full colored item. I'm not going to see if it was done. I'm not going to have it crossed through if my student completed it, but I can see in here, okay, if I click on a quiz in the calendar view, it will let me see what the due date is,
And if I go into the quiz specifically, I'll be able to see that if there was a time limit, I will see if it's past due, but I will not be able to see what the student did on the assignment. I will only be able to see that on the grades page.
So I can go to this science lab that I looked at. And if I click on Science Lab, then it will take me to the assignment that I can be able to complete the assignment. For all of your students, if you're not sure if a student has done an assignment or not, you can simply click on it and you can go to that assignment and get the instructions on what you need to do. As you can see here, this is one of the assignments that loads into a different window. This is another way for your students to submit an assignment is through Google Assignments. You as an observer are not going to be able to see work that is submitted through assignments. So if you come to a page like this, you're going to need to look at it in your student's account. And that is the calendar in an overview. I can also go to the inbox where I will be able to see any messages that are sent between the teacher and my student. So I will be able to see the messages that are being sent back and forth. I will be able to email the teacher if I need to and be able to converse that direction. Students are not allowed to message each other in this system. So you will only see messages between the teachers and your student. So now that we've covered the parent app on the desktop, let's go into the mobile app where we're going to look at some of the same features just on the mobile app instead of the desktop.
Now we're going to explore the Canvas parent app. It is the blue icon out of all of the Canvas apps. And once I come in here, I will need to find my school. So I need to type in the district name of Bedford. And I'll have two options pop up. Remember, as a parent or guardian, you will use Canvas to sign in as an observer. Students and teachers will sign in under SAML. So I'm going to click on Canvas, and then I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my... Now that I've logged into my app, I can see the 3 classes, and I can see the current grade that my student has in each of those classes. If I want to click on the sandbox, I can be able to see all of the grades that this student has earned or not earned. I can see instantly if something is late or missing. I can tell if something doesn't have a due date. I can also go to the front page of the class and be able to navigate just like I did on the website by clicking on modules and then being able to go into the modules through Chrome and being able to access whatever I would need to access. Now back over in here, I can do that in each of the different classes, and it defaults automatically to the grade page. I can come over here to these 3 lines, and I can go to Manage Students. And if I'm here on my Canvas test student, this is when I can set up my push alerts, the alerts that I want to get on my phone for when certain things happen. So I can come in here and say, I want to know when the grade falls below a 60%. And that's when I will get an alert. I want to know when the grade is above a certain amount. I want to know when an assignment is missing. I want to know if there's grades below or above again. I want to be notified of course announcements and institution announcements. And I can set this up however I want to. And it is specific to this student. So if I pair with additional students, I will need to set up the alerts for each student. Okay? And that is how I can access that. I can come down here to the calendar. What looks different on this calendar as it does on the desktop is that I will know if there's an assignment due on a day because it's got a dot underneath the number. So if I click on the 16, there's that science lab I was playing with earlier. I can go back a week and be able to see an assignment on the 10th, but I can also come back here to September 30th where it had multiple assignments that were due that day. So I can go through the assignment calendar in that way on the app to be able to see what is there. Any alerts that I would get would be here based off of the settings that I set for the student. And I can see the course list again by clicking back over here on courses. This is the default screen that pops up when I sign into the app.
Now that we have accessed the apps and desktop for the observer, let's take a look at the desktop and apps for the student. So this time I'm going to show you pretty much the exact same thing, how to access the coursework in order to submit assignments, showing the calendar, and changing the dashboard view. So here we are logged in as a student. It looks similar to what my dashboard looked like as the observer because I was observing this dashboard. I can see by now that my student should know that the two ways they're going to log in is through either the Google App Launcher or Clever. If you need further information about those items, please be sure to reach out to the help desk. Here on my dashboard as a student, there's a couple things that I can do. I can come up here to these three dots and I can change my view of my dashboard. So if I want to change it to a list view, this gives me a clear indication of what assignments are due on specific days. So as you can see here, the next assignment I have due is on October 16th. Now if I scroll backwards, I can see previous assignments that were missing but graded, submitted late, or I can show something that was completed and graded. I can see different calendar events that have come on and anything like that. I can see those things on my dashboard as a student. And I can easily change back. If I don't like this view, I can come back to card view. Those are the two viewing options that I have on my dashboard. If I go into list view, I can still see everything up here. This here is my missing assignment. This here is my to-do list, or sorry, my grades. And so I can see here that I have grades. If I'm not sure why I don't have a grade, I can click on the course name from here. But this gives me a shot of what my grades are. So if I were to come and click on Canvas Training under my grades, I come to my grade screen. If I want to go back to the dashboard and click on the next item, I can click here and then I can click on the sandbox, and again it takes me to this grade page. This is the page that the parents can locate in the previous section of the video. I see the exact same thing that the parent sees. I can see that something is missing. I can see when something is late. So I can come in here to this missing assignment, and if I click on it as the student, I come in here and it says that there's no preview available because the grade it's saying I got was a 0 because I probably already missed my opportunity to take this quiz. If I can go into the modules in this class and I can find other things that I might be able to do, like this self-assessment for the fall of Rome, it shows up as a blue take the quiz. So I can click on that and it should take me to the quiz to be able to submit something. Questions would appear here if there were questions on it. I answer my questions and I submit the quiz. And I can see what my score was. My score is 0 out of 0, so it doesn't hurt me, obviously, but if there were questions in here, it would automatically score it and give me a grade on there. After I've looked at it, I can look at the answer choices, and if I don't agree with one of the answer choices, it's a great opportunity for me as the student to message my teacher and ask about the questions and express my concern in a polite and respectful way. I can come back up here to modules and I can choose something else if I want to. Or I can come back over here to my dashboard and see my list. You know what? Let's look into that science lab. So here's the science lab, and I've got all of these options that I'm supposed to be able to choose from. A text entry box, a website URL, a media recording, or a file upload. If I click on submit assignment, there's now all of these options that pop up for me. If I want to choose something from my computer to upload, a picture that I took or anything that I saved on my computer, I can choose the file and I can upload it here. If I want to type out my entry, I can copy and paste, or I can type my entry here. If I want to turn in a website, the assignment was I needed to create a Google site. I can paste the URL here to be able to share it. If I want to access my Google Drive and just submit something that's in here, all I would have to do is click on the item from here and be able to submit the assignment. If I'm not sure what that is, I can always open it up in a new window and see what it is to be able to know I'm submitting the correct item in here. I can turn in media. So if I needed to tape a video of me doing a science lab, I can record and upload the media here. I can also have videos or information stored in my Canvas Studio library that I could also upload here and choose to say that it is what I want to do. Finally, I can also go to Google Drive, LTI 1.3, and it will ask me to link to my account. And so if I switch my account over to my account as the student, it will pull up my drive and give me access to any of the stuff that's in my drive that I would be able to attach to this assignment. Now, if you're given the option between Google Drive and Google Doc, the Google Doc is an easier option to go with. But if Google Drive is your only option, then you will have to do that and select your file here. Those are the different ways. Each of these options might look different. It's not saying that you're going to see all of these on every assignment that you are asked to do with your student, but this is by far one of the easier ways to submit an assignment. If I come over here to these modules, I can also find other assignments, such as this Regions Practice. It is a Google assignment. So here I can open to attach whatever I need to attach to it. As you can see, it says I've already submitted it. So as a parent, if you come into your student's assignment and you see this, that means it has already been submitted. And all I would need to do is close this tab and it takes me back to the assignments. Let's see if we can find an assignment that has not been turned in. This might be, so here is the same example as I had before, has all these options down here for you to be able to choose from to submit an assignment. Now, if I want to come into the quiz and be able to retake it, I can view the results and I can see, oh, I got an 8 out of 20 on this. I did not do very good on this. So if I return, I go back to my main page there. It did say I had multiple attempts, so this might be a conversation with the teacher of, I thought I had another attempt on my quiz, but when I try to go to the quiz, it does not give me an additional attempt. So this just gives you another opportunity. It might be that we're past the due date, and because we're past the due date, we cannot go back in and do another attempt. Again, it's just a conversation piece with your teacher to be able to know if it's something you can do or not. I can go to my calendar, and for me as the student, if I have accomplished a task, it is struck through on my calendar. This is not something that the parent will see. This is only something that the student will see. So I can get a really good visual on, I have done those 4 assignments, but I need to do this one. That's still due, and my science lab is due on this day. I can still use the calendar the same way that the observer does by clicking on this and going to the assignment in question that I have to do. So this is an external tool, so it should populate here fairly soon on what I would need to accomplish in this assignment. So again, as I showed you before with a Google assignment, this one is not done, so I would open to attach and it opens in a new window for me, and I can open up this and be able to see what it does, and I can fill out the answers. Students should open the file and do the work on all aspects of it before they submit it, because if they don't, it's still going to be marked incomplete or wrong. Even if they submit it and it shows that they're done, they're going to get a failing grade on it. So then I go ahead and submit because I did go in and I checked it and everything is good. And I can see that it is submitted because I'm going to see the clipboard with the check on it. If I need to reach out to my teacher, I can go here to the inbox and I can say, as you can see, I have these messages for classes that I have been in previously, and they're from the teacher that was in that class. And so I can be able to open up these messages and see what is going on. I can compose a new message, and my options are the courses that I am enrolled in. So if I want to send to that course and I want to send it to my teacher, and then I can type in what I need. on the first 5 presidents. This is a very short email. I would definitely start it with a Mrs. Brizantine and always sign it with thanks and the student name. That's just a polite way to send a message to your teachers, and teachers are supposed to be responding in a timely manner. If you get an error screen and you need to attach a picture, you can always attach it using this attachment option. So I can send that message. The message has been sent, and now if I were to log in, I'd be able to see that. But again, I can only message teachers as a student. And that, in a nutshell, is Canvas for the student. Under Accounts, you can also go to the notifications for students, and you can decide what you want to be able to get emails on and what you don't. You can also get push notifications, which would push it out to any apps that you might have, and say what you want to get notified on. Same as with the parents. Parents, I would encourage you to have a conversation with your students about what would be the best way to get notifications, and decide between the team what you would want to have as notifications. So that's a quick look into the desktop version of the Canvas student account. Now we're going to go ahead and shift gears and look at the mobile app and look at the exact same feature.
So now we're going to look at the Canvas student app. And when we go into the student app, it will again prompt us to find our school. This is a process you should only have to do once, or if you ever sign out of the app entirely. So if I type in Bedford, students should use the SAML option. Once I'm signed into my app, then I will see the course tiles of the courses I am enrolled in, and I can see on that picture what my grade is in that course. So I will be able to click into the course that I need and be able to go to the modules and see what needs to be done. I can still see the due dates just like I can on the desktop version. I can be able to click on the item and respond and do what I would need to do with it. I can submit work on here as long as I have access to the documents on my phone. I can take quizzes on my phone or discussion boards or type responses. I can do any of those things on here. I can go to any of the different courses. This is one spot where if the grades tab is not on in navigation, I won't be able to see my grades on the app. Okay. Now, if I come over here to this line, I can turn off the grades. If I don't want to see the grades on my tile, then I can turn off the grades. I can turn off the color overlay. So you can see where I have 2 green and 1 pink. I can say I don't want to see that color. So then it's just a clear picture. That's a personal preference if you want to have that or not. I can go in here and turn off grades, so I don't see the grades on the picture anymore. I would encourage you to leave the grades on there so that your student can be constantly aware. They can click on calendar and it looks the same as it does for the parent view. I can click on here, the 16th. I can click on the 10th and I can see that it is missing because it does say missing on my calendar. And I can go to the 30th and I can see what has been graded and what has been submitted. So on the student app, I can see when something is graded and submitted. I can look at my to-do list, which will tell me things on here only if it has a due date. If a teacher turns something due for a student but does not put in a due date, it will not show up on the to-do list. So you need to make sure that they're going in and checking the actual course and going through any of the daily assignments that the teacher sets to make sure that they are doing what they need to do. So their notifications are set on the computer desktop to be able to know they have to do something or what they want to get notified on. Here's the different notifications I've gotten of a new assignment being created and letting me know when something is coming up that I need to do. I can access my inbox to be able to see messages I can send to my teachers or that they have sent to me. In order to send an email, I would simply need to click on the big blue plus sign and it would bring me to a message that I could then send to my teachers.
Now that we've looked at the two apps and both of the desktop learning experiences, let's go over some final notes. If your child is getting frustrated with having to use the touchpad on a Chromebook, go out and buy an external mouse. You can find them at Walmart or Amazon or any other stores like that, and you can be able to plug it into your Chromebook using that USB port that's either on the side or the back and be able to use an external mouse. Also, as parents, please bookmark the Canvas page, bedfordco.instructure.com, to allow for you guys to have easy access on a computer to get into Canvas. Make sure you are checking Parent Portal for the most accurate grade information. Just because you see something with a grade in Canvas does not mean it translates that way into the Parent Portal gradebook. So please use that as the authority for the grade. You should use Canvas to check for missing work or work that needs to be submitted still. So those are the two uses that you have: Parent Portal for grades, Canvas for missing assignments or work to be completed. Thanks for tuning in. That's all we have for this episode of Parent University. Please tune in for future episodes as they are released on a semi-regular basis. Have a great day.